All right, welcome to Mississippi Mic'd Up. I'm Tommy West, and who am I joined by today?
Hi, my name is Kendra Keys, and I'm the owner and director of Agape Christian Academy World, located right here in Jackson, Mississippi.
Hi, my name is Lisa Daniel Hollingshead, and I am the owner and director of 3 programs in Clinton, Mississippi. We have Funtime Preschool, Funtime After School, and My First Fun Time.
I'm Lakeisha Marie Stewart, and I am the owner and director of Posh Early Achievers Academy in Jackson, Mississippi. And we also run an aftercare program called the Walwyn STEM Academy.
All right, so kind of going on down the line, tell me a little bit about the history with your organizations with your local communities.
Well, Agape Christian Academy has long longevity with the community. We're located on the corner of Northside Drive and Bowling, which is attached to a community right beside us. We offer aftercare. We offer programs, financial programs for our parents. We offer programs for our grandparents, and we just love reaching out to the community and providing service, not only for early childhood, but for needs that are needed within our community. Yeah.
So, Posh Early Achievers Academy, I like to say I'm a rising star, probably the newer center out of these beautiful 2 ladies. So I can only hope and pray that my facility is around as long as they have been around. Mm-hmm. So we started in 2019 in my home as a home facility, and then we outgrew the home, and we did purchase a commercial building in Jackson, Mississippi. And I absolutely love early childhood. Mm-hmm. We get a chance to really shape those little minds and give them that foundation of education where they could develop a love for learning for years to come. So with us, we do service ages 0 to 5. And like I say, I do feel like that's the foundation. You really get to shape a child from the beginning so that when they are ready to go to grade school, they are ready for not only for school, they have structure, they have the fundamentals that they need to be a great pre-K or kindergarten scholar. So I love what I do.
Yeah.
Miss Keys, I think she was calling us old,
right?
In a very nice way. I think that's what she was trying to say.
No, Lisa, no.
Well, I will say it for myself. I am old. I have been doing this a very long time, and I absolutely, like these 2 ladies, love what I do.
Yes.
We started in 2000 with our after-school program, but our family business has been around since 1971.
Wow.
We've operated a family-owned skating rink in Clinton. So we have long history of serving children and families in our community and surrounding areas. We love to build partnerships with community organizations as well as outreach, including our families and programs, and like Ms. Keys was talking about with grandparents. And we want to include and encompass the whole family unit and include them in their child's early learning.
I remember, growing up, I would go to Fun Time when we would come and visit in the summers. I'm an Army brat, so when we would come here to Mississippi, we would all, my family's from the sub number 2, and it's right up there on that 80 corridor.
Yeah.
And I would get dropped off at Fun Time.
All right.
That is awesome.
So obviously a lot of history, even in the room, with these organizations. So how important are these organizations to students, setting up like a foundation for academic success?
Well, childcare is important, period. Mm-hmm. Clock it.
Yes.
I
concur.
It is important, period. It's the beginning of your life, having a great foundation in learning, us being responsible for teaching not just part of the child, but the whole child, mentally, academically, spiritually, making sure that we focus on family relationships with child care centers, involving family engagement. It just goes on and on and on. Without child care, you wouldn't have presidents and politicians and lawyers and doctors and teachers and entrepreneurs. We are the important aspect of a child's growth from birth all the way up to pre-K 4.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I agree with what she said.
Yes.
All right. So given the importance of this foundation, obviously parents are going to want to get their kids into organizations like this. However, funding could be an issue for a lot of adults. Even today, I've seen studies where adults are having to work 2 jobs. It was, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, there are 50.2% of adults working 2 jobs that have a college degree. And so they're going to need organizations like this, especially for after-school care. So funding-wise, recently there's been a little divot in the funding. How has this affected your organizations?
Wow.
It's a huge impact for me. So it's the child care subsidy vouchers that families can apply for. That funding has been drastically cut and reduced to very minimal. Right. And so when families are coming up for a determination to reapply for those certificates, they're being denied, which means they're responsible for the full cost of the weekly tuition. But working families cannot afford that. They are maxed out. Like you said, many of them are currently having to work 2 jobs, and these are people with college degrees just to make ends meet. And when they lose their funding that's helped support their child being able to attend a program, they are having to make really tough decisions about whether they can even continue to work or not. I've had families that have lost their certificates, and one of the parents has had to quit their job and just stay at home because they can't afford to pay for their child to go to school so that they can be in the workforce.
Mm-hmm. And literally, all child care directors across the entire state of Mississippi is at tears behind what they call the child care pause. Because not only is it affecting our businesses, but it's affecting the state of Mississippi's workforce. When you have families that cannot afford your weekly tuitions, they're now having to quit their jobs. They're now having to look towards grandparents or great-grandparents in helping to keep the babies so that they can continue to go to work or continue to go to school. It is having a massive effect on child care centers in the state of Mississippi, where there are even centers that will be closing as of December the 30th because they can't afford to keep their businesses open. At this time, fortunately for Agape Christian Academy, we have just chosen to just hang on in there with the little bit that we do have and the parents that we do have. By working with the parents, we've created things where instead of us paying for our yard guy, we may have parents that have those kinds of skills and need to work off their tuition payments in that capacity. And that's one of the things that we have implemented to be able to help support our school and support the families. And so what I'm wanting to see behind this is that the citizens of the state of Mississippi will rally behind child care centers in every community, that they will come and begin to say, what must they do to help us stay in business so that we can continue to educate these young minds? We are important.
Yes.
We are important. We are important. And we must stay in business in order to cultivate a society of great citizens.
I like that. I didn't think about that bartering system that you have implemented at the school because we all have parents that are talented in many ways. I never thought about doing that. For Posh, we did implement, a small scholarship fund. So that scholarship fund was able to contribute some of the funding towards the weekly tuition. But me and Lisa was talking about it in the break room earlier, and she's like, well, how do you decide, who gets it? And that's where, the dilemma comes from, because we only had 10 slots to do that for. So then it's like, well, what if you have 30 students or 30 parents or scholars that need that help? And it just has to be on a first come, first served basis. So I think it's critical that we figure out what we can do as a whole for childcare, for early childcare, because although the state did, implement some certain situations of people that could get those vouchers regardless. You had to be homeless, I believe.
Military.
I believe disabilities. But, in hindsight, if you're homeless, are you really looking for childcare? You're worried about, where am I going to sleep? Where are these children going to lay their head at night? So with something like that, what about the parents that are at work and that have a home? They just need that little subsidy help to keep their children in school, because what's happening is there are going to be a lot of latchkey kids. And with them having so much exposure to social media, so many child predators, it is so many things that a child, so many things that their mind can wander and get into with no adult supervision, without some structured learning and some funds and some programs. They got to have that fun. So, yes, we did it. I was a latchkey kid, but I didn't have everything that these children have access to now.
Right.
Somebody at home for 4 or 5 hours with no supervision, with a TV and a laptop and a cell phone, you do the math of what could happen.
Absolutely. I mean, me being 25, obviously, I've seen it as well, how unsupervised access to the internet can affect kids.
Yes.
So run me through the cost per kid, per student for your organizations, kind of how much it costs to have these kids in your organization.
And it varies, in different areas and in different communities. I think as a business owner, we all look at those type of factors to decide our price point. We look at even parents' income and where they're coming from. So when we're making a decision, and then we also look at the people that we hire, the professionals that we have in the classroom, and what they are worth, and they're not even getting paid enough.
No.
They're not even, as teachers, they're not getting paid. We couldn't really charge the amount of money that we really need to stay in business. Right. So in saying that, we try to keep those price points comparable to the areas that we're in.
That's what I was looking for, that word right there. Lisa's in Clinton. I'm not saying that there aren't families in Jackson that have median income like Clinton, but her area may have more professional families. So disposable income is not an issue for them, or they don't feel like, early childhood is going to be something that they're going to negotiate. They are willing to pay top dollar. My parents may not be in that predicament. So I have to consider groceries, lights, property taxes, employment, utilities, and everything, as well as still trying to make a profit to keep this business going. So I agree with Keys. There are many factors that we have to consider when determining what your weekly, monthly, or biweekly tuition is going to be.
Yeah.
But I will say this, just, excuse me, I think we would all agree that overall day-to-day operations, when you look at the number of children that you can put in a classroom with a teacher and what you're having to pay that teacher, and then your overhead expenses, that just to unlock the door and open the building, what it cost you, it is well close to $200 a week per child that it cost.
That's a good example. I like that.
Yeah.
That gives them a broad, idea of what we're faced with. Yeah.
Right.
Because one thing I'll mention as well, teachers. All these organizations seem to have teachers, not just caregivers.
Correct.
So what are the qualifications for the teachers at your organizations?
Well, we look for the best. I think we could say that for all three of us. We look for individuals that have gone to school for early childhood or some type of educational piece, so that we are not daycare centers. We are learning institutions. And that learning starts in our infant room all the way even through our after school rooms and buildings. So we are looking for the highest and the best qualified professionals that not only have the academic knowledge, but also has the heart and the caring for the field that they're in, that they're just not showing up every day for a paycheck, that they're showing up because they want to make a difference in the lives of these early learners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes we are able to hire somebody that we feel like is a great fit for the job. And then we're able to obtain like some professional development, like the infant toddler credential that we can let teachers be a part of. And so it's kind of on the job training with professionals like from Mississippi Early Inclusion Center. They come in and they will do some on the job training with our teachers to increase their abilities and learning what is best practice to do with a group of children.
I agree with you all.
In a group setting.
Child care, you have to be passionate about it. But at the same time, your passion has to be able to provide a living for you and your family.
Yeah.
So developing bonuses and incentives for people to get their CDAs or to go to school to get more education-based learning so that you can perfect your craft. There's nothing better than a prepared teacher that loves what they're doing and that's innovative and creative. So if you could keep these children's minds stimulated enough, it's no one day the same in early childhood. Like every day can be a different day. And I don't know a better word than to say you have to be passionate about this, but not just passionate. You have to want to see these children grow. It is nothing more amazing than to see a child come in your center as an infant. And by the time they graduate at age 5, all of the things that they have learned from you, your teachers, the staff, from the kitchen. Even the kitchen staffer is important. When they're eating and they're telling them what they're eating and they're talking about eating with your eating utensils, everyone from our bus drivers to our kitchen staff to the janitors that keep our facilities clean, they are important. And they all need funding.
Yes. They do.
So obviously funding is very important for your organizations. So with that in mind, with the qualifications and with the cost per student, how important are these vouchers to your organizations?
They're critical. Like I say, it still goes back to your demographic in your area. Depending on where you are, all of your parents may need a child care subsidy voucher.
Yes.
What do you do then? They're working, but what if they're only working at Walmart, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A? I don't know if I'm allowed to say all those companies on here, but if they just have a entry-level job where they're making $24,000 a year, and if they have 2 to 3 kids,
do the math. It ain't math.
half of that is going to child care. And then we still have to eat, clothe, and provide shelter for these children. So there's so many factors that go into why child care subsidy is important for parents. For some families, it's necessary and it's essential, and that's all that they have.
Yeah.
I view the subsidies as a bridge for working families to be able to continue working. They just need a little support to help them have stability and routine care in a place that their child is safe and loved and they trust, so that they can contribute to society.
Yes.
And so the subsidy is just a bridge to help families be able to stay at that point.
I like the bridge.
Yeah, me too.
I like that.
Yeah.
I know Kentrell's going to come in. Let me just say this before I lose this thought. like anything else, one bad apple will spoil it for everyone. I understand them drawing back some of the funding on vouchers because we all know there were some people that just simply did not need it. But we have to figure out or implement some kind of policy where people can really be chosen and not everyone be affected because a few people that truly did not need it was obtaining it for 2, 3, 4 years. So I do think the program could be reworked a little, but drawing and pulling back as many of vouchers as they did, I don't know if that was the best decision for parents that truly needed it.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think it was the best decision and the best way to do that because, like Miss Keisha said, that we do have families that, and not just the families of single mothers that are in school and are working that really need the support of this program. The key word is they're working.
Yes.
They're working, and they're trying to do better for themselves and for their children to be able to put their child in a private child care facility that has low teacher to child ratio. They can receive more one-on-one attention so that their growth level is stronger by the time they're 5 years old and they get ready to graduate from our program and either go to a private school or a public school. They're on target for standardized testing. They're moving those reading scores for the state of Mississippi above and beyond and putting us number one in the nation, putting Mississippi number one in the nation. We are essential.
Yes.
We are essential. We are business owners that own private child care centers, no different than any other private school in the state of Mississippi that is providing quality services for the children that attend their schools. And we are important.
Yes, we are.
The money has affected us. The pause, in my mind, was truly unnecessary the way it was done. My income has gone from $23,000 a month to $7,000 a month.
Wow.
$7,000 that I've got to try to pay taxes, pay staff, and keep those staff.
Yes.
And fortunately, before the holidays, I just don't have it in me to let staff go because they have families too.
That's right.
They're depending on me. They're depending on me as a business owner, as a business director to provide financials for them so that they can keep their families going. And I'm just wanting the state of Mississippi's, the citizens, the legislators, the governors, the mayors to come together and help us figure out a way that we can continue to help the families that truly need it.
Right.
Yes.
What other industry do you know of that can lose 70% of their funding and still fight to stay open because you recognize what you're doing that is changing the trajectory of children's lives on a daily basis and the value of that and the importance of that. And we continue to fight every day.
Yes, we do.
Every day. And it's not even, I'm going to say this for Ms. Keys. It's not the fight to say, oh, my business is a multi-million-dollar business. No, it's a fight to say these babies need me. They need quality care so that their mamas, their daddies, their grandmamas can still go to work and be able to provide what they need in their daily living.
Correct.
I love that.
Yeah.
As you think about it, where else besides home are children most of the day?
Child care.
School. Child care or school.
Yeah.
I mean, great, depending on the age, grade school or child care. And we have the opportunity in our field to not only educate their minds, like Ms. Keys said, the whole child. They're learning to tie their shoes. They're getting potty trained. They're learning routine. They're learning social and emotional skills, how to communicate with their friends, how to share. They're learning vocabulary words. We're building their vocabulary. We're doing everything that a parent doesn't have the time to do, doesn't have the knowledge to do, because you got to think some of our parents are young. They may not know tier 3 words. They might not know you should be broadening your child's vocabulary daily.
Right.
They may not know that if we're walking into a building, we can spell door. DOOR. That didn't take a book to do that. But no, they don't really know that. But if a child comes home and they're spelling, they're looking like, wait a minute, what are you doing? I'm going to join in. I'm going to start spelling too. All right, let's spell window. So what we do is priceless. And if you do it right, it's high quality and priceless.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes, you can clock that. Clock that T.
So I'm glad you brought it up. The obviously not $1 million businesses y'all are running. So with Mississippi recently, they've ranked 30th in a kids count report for education. We've gone up drastically in 4th grade literacy levels. And with these cuts to y'all's funding, do you feel like it's going to have a negative impact on what many have called the Mississippi miracle?
Children not being in a stable, routine program from especially birth to 3, that is the most critical time of brain development in a child's life.
That's right.
And not being exposed to the things that they are exposed to in an early learning program is definitely going to impact their readiness for school.
That's right.
Even like Keisha was just talking about vocabulary. Children who are read to on a daily basis go into public school with something like 100,000 more vocabulary words that they understand than children who are not read to. And for families who are working 2 jobs, and who has time to read to a child at home?
Yes.
Not because they don't want to, but
Right.
logistically, how do they make that happen?
Right.
They're exhausted.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, that was good.
All right. And with the funding, obviously from a federal level has been cut. However, from a state level, recently Governor Tate Reeves has asked lawmakers for $1 million to expand childcare access across the state. Have y'all been in contact with any lawmakers like supporting Tate Reeves' initiative? And what has the conversation been like?
I have not been in direct contact with.
I'm piggybacking off you.
Oh,
Me
okay.
either.
Yeah.
I have not been in direct contact with lawmakers, but I am. And Keys, you are too part of an advisory council for advocacy for early learning. We need to get you in that group too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I know that we will be going to the Capitol once session resumes,
Right.
and we will be advocating for passing that funding.
We did participate with an organization that went to the Capitol, and that particular organization has done research on how much money is in our TANF funding and how we can move that money to early childhood to the Mississippi Department of Human Service so that those fundings can help support the voucher program. So we're really in prayer in our advocacy that that will soon happen, that our legislators, our governor, they will merge together and collaborate together and come up with a bigger plan that will help these vouchers be able to stay intact, and we won't experience this again. No matter federally what's happening on the federal level, our state has the ability to care and take care of its own babies.
I love that.
Our state has that ability. And all it takes is great minds getting in the room together with pencil and paper and numbers and making it happen.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
All right,
Yeah.
kids.
It's not hard.
Future in politics. And not to say, because I can hear the people now. We know that childcare industry is a million or $billion industry. I'm not that sure on the stats. So we have the potential. It's not what you bring in. We could be bringing in over $1 million. It's how much you can keep.
Yeah.
And it's pretty costly to run these businesses. And at the end of the day, if we're taking care of our staff and taking care of our financial obligations on other ends, we still need to make sure that we're able to put back. So, if you're worried about giving scholarships and helping parents with food drives and we do a lot for the community, food drives, feeding homeless. There are a lot of things that we all do, and a lot of things that we do for our centers, we come out of pocket. We're not asking parents Christmas dances and Thanksgiving dinners and Harvest Fest, summer camps. Some parents simply can't afford to send money every week for summer camp. Well, we're not going to let a child not go. Yeah. So we pull things out of our own personal finances at our own homes to make sure that these kids get the opportunity that every other child at the facility gets.
Right.
So this is a selfless business.
Yeah.
We love what we do. We love the children. We love the families that we serve. So if we need to help a family, we're going to do it. We're not going to just not say, well, this child's going to miss out because their parent can't afford, to send them on this field trip. We're going to gladly do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Every day. And currently, because of the child care voucher pause, I have 10 families right now that cannot afford the full tuition. So they're actually going to my school free of charge. That's where the workforce opportunity has come in for me to create outside of the box to help them to be able to still continue to be involved in the facility and me be able to continue to educate their child, because I can't put them out right now. I just can't put them out, because if I put them out, how is that going to benefit me? I'm just knowing that they're out there and they have nothing. They're not doing anything. They're not being watched. They're not being cared. They're not having 3 meals a day that I can provide. So what we're saying again is that through this podcast, we're hoping that the community helps get involved with whatever child care center is in their area. Right. It's just a simple thing of, how can I help?
That's right.
How can I help? How can I be of service to be able to keep these families working? Because if the workforce stops, what's going to happen to our state? I think there are about 1,500 child care centers in the state of Mississippi. If all 1,500 child care centers in the state of Mississippi have to close their doors, how is this going to affect our state?
Right. That's something to think about.
And that's the bigger picture. That's the bigger picture.
And it won't matter how many billion-dollar data centers somebody's recruiting to bring in.
Right.
And although, those are great economic projects that we're very proud of, and we're proud that our state is moving forward and pushing forward, bringing in industries of all sorts. But if we don't have the workforce to support those industries, then nobody's coming to Mississippi if parents can't work.
Right.
That's right.
All right, so for anybody that's watching, maybe wants to get involved, what are some advocacy programs that they can get involved in, or even just direct donating, or how could they get involved?
Well, for Agape, we have started a tuition campaign, and you can go to our GoFundMe page, Google Agape Christian Academy World, and simply make a donation, whether it's $1, $5, whatever is laid upon your heart to do. And we are providing those funds to directly support the tuition that we have lost from the parents that can't afford childcare. You could, or simply put a check in the mail to 2024 Bowling Street, Jackson, Mississippi, and those funds will be used to keep our parents with quality childcare and keep them working.
Like that.
That's awesome. Also, I say advocate to your legislators,
Yeah.
your senators, your representatives. We have got to have this funding passed. The last year in session, the legislators did not provide the funding to Department of Human Services, and that's what created this situation with the certificates being pulled, because the legislators chose not to fund. That is not a federal issue. That is a state of Mississippi issue. And so we need you to, first of all, get out and vote for who's going to make a difference.
Yes.
That's right.
And
That's
second
right.
of all, get on the phone with them and tell them working families have got to be supported in the state of Mississippi.
That's good.
All right. And any final thoughts? Anything y'all would like to add?
Well, this child care pause may seem like it is really, really bad right now, but I believe that our governor has the love for the children in the entire state of Mississippi, that he's going to do whatever it takes to keep our child care centers in business so that we can continue to care and to educate these children. And I'm just asking each legislator, each senator, each House representative to support him and to do what we need to do to keep child care alive.
To piggyback off of Ms. Keys, I want to, I call all parents, you all need to get a village together. If you know that this may go on longer than we anticipate, I think families need to start building their village. They're going to have to start building a village of people that you can trust and that can understand children just sitting at home is not the way to go if they're not in school. I mean, we've got YouTube, we've got all of these agencies and devices and all of these resources out here that you all can pull together to say, hey, okay, let's just do some flashcards while they're there. The reality is some people may not get their vouchers back and they may not be able to go back to work either. So I just want to petition all parents and caretakers, if you know that you're not, just find the time to try to learn more so that you can educate them while you're in the house with them until you can get them back into some high quality centers or even some pre-K programs in your local public school districts. Don't just, let the children's education fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be proactive in educating your child at home. You have to, not just educating them for learning, but life skills as well. It takes nothing to, for some people, it's a lot. But if we just think outside of the box and stop making it really, really difficult, something as simple as when you're driving in the car with them, pointing out trees, red lights, green lights. This is a vehicle we're driving. Parents can do their part, even if they don't have the child care center. But we definitely want you to know that child care centers are here to stay.
Yes.
And we want your scholars. We want to educate them. We want to be compassionate and love on them. But if you don't have the ability to or the funding to get your child in a school facility, don't let them just sit at home and not get that education that you can give them.
That's
Right.
good. That's good.
There's also a great app that Mississippi Department of Education puts out. It's called Vroom, VROOM. And it is an app that families can get. You put in the age of your child, and it gives you one little blip a day that works on do this at bath time, do this during dinner, have this conversation while you're in the car. This is an activity to do while you're at the grocery store. So it encompasses day-to-day living with an early education activity that's going to help your child develop vocabulary and social skills.
Love it.
So that is a great resource.
Love that.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us today on Mississippi Mic'd Up, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.